Howdy y'all, and welcome back to the vlog. Today I'm going to introduce you to my mare, Sadie. She is a 2012 AQHA mare by Getting Impulsive and out of a Good Machine mare. She is currently about to pop. She's in foal to Night Moves, who is a full brother to a certain Vino. And I thought it'd be fun to show you guys how I do somewhat of a gender test. It's an old wives' tale where you take a nail and a piece of her tail and hold it above her back, and if it goes a certain direction it tells you if it's a colt or a filly. I've done this for each of my babies and so far we're at 100% correct. So if this is wrong this time, I'm going to be so sad. But yeah, I will grab the stuff to set up and show you guys, and then I will also give you a little bit of a tour of what I put together for foaling kits so that we're all prepared for when she has her little Bambino. Okay, now we have a rusty nail and a strand of her tail in which we tied around the nail so it hangs like so. Alright, so you might need a stool if your horse is a little bit taller. Sadie was not rode, so like she might be a little sensitive of me getting above her back level, so be careful just in case. You're gonna hold a nail along the back, and as you can see it's already starting to spin in a circle, which indicates that that is a filly. If it was going back and forth along her spine, it would be a colt. Her last foal she had was a colt and it went back and forth along the spine. So yeah, that is the method I have used to tell me what kind of foal I am having, and it's been 100% right for me every single time so far. So it's a little fun. I usually do it at about 4 months in the pregnancy, and then I check it several other times throughout the 11 months that they're pregnant to see if it is consistent. Okay, so I thought it would be good to go over some signs that your mare is close to foaling. They usually don't keep fecal matter in them, so there'll be a lot more poop. They might go off of food. Their hind ends get squishy and they might leak a little bit of milk or come out with a little bit of wax, it's called. It's a little yellow waxy substance that comes out of their udders. Sadie does not like to be poked and prod on when it comes to that, so we're not gonna show you that today. If I had a different mare, I would gladly show you. Okay, so I thought I'd go over what is in my foaling kit. So this is the bucket that has most things I need for when the mare foals immediately. I have another thing with a bunch of foal blankets and halters in it as well. One of the things I do to Sadie after she foals is I put this lead rope that I cut and it has a knot in it on her halter, or I put her halter on if it's not on. And she wears this for probably about the first week because she is protective over her babies and she becomes kind of hard to catch. So this is just my way of making sure that if anything becomes wrong with her or the foal, I can catch her in a safely manner, and then I put a second lead rope on her if I have to tie her up or if I'm leading her. So that way I have a little bit of rope to hold on to, like say she takes off or something. But this is just my mare catch rope. As Sadie's getting close to foaling, if I'm around, I quickly wash her hind end, and then right after she foals, I wash her udders with some warm soapy water, so that way that it helps get rid of the bacteria for the foal as she's giving birth. When I clean her backside and udders, I fill this about this full with warm water and put a whole bunch of paper towel or cotton in there and pull the cotton out, squirt some ivory soap on it, and then clean her hind end. And I make sure that all the soap is off before I am done. So especially with the udders, because you don't want the baby drinking the soap, right? So when the foal is born, we have a heated barn and everything, but I like to help clean it off and get it as dry as possible as soon as possible. So I have several just shower beach towels that I keep in the kit. I make sure that they're not washed with any detergent so that the foal won't have any reaction to it. And then I also, for once it's dry, if it's chilly at nighttime, I have this almost cooler type feeling foal blanket that I put on them. In the kit, I also keep alcohol for sterilizing things, gloves, OB gloves just in case of an emergency, bat wrap for her tail, a plastic bag, iodine solution for the foal's umbilical cord, and some baling twine. Oh, and an enema. Now I'm going to explain a little bit of this. Let me it's so hard because things kind of go in a backwards order of how you want them in there. So, from heaviest to lightest. So I'm going to put the towels in here real quick and the blanket and the OB sleeves. So the OB sleeves I have just in case of emergency. Like, usually if the foal's not born within 10 minutes of the water breaking, there is something wrong. And I have these so I can go in and feel if the feet are correct or there's a leg tucked back, and you gotta help get that fixed. That self-explanatory because it goes around her tail. Gloves just to stay sanitary for myself. So this is just a regular plastic bag that you get at a grocery store, and what I do when a mare foals is I put the amniotic sac and the placenta, whatever's still hanging out of the mare, I put it into this bag and take the baling twine and tie it up. So that helps weigh everything down to help get the remainder of the stuff out of the mare cleanly. Thanks, Allie, for running in front of my shot. Now one thing that not every barn does, but I highly recommend doing, and I do with all my foals, is I have 2 enemas on hand to help the baby start going to the bathroom and stuff. If they tend to be a bit constipated when they're first born, and they can push and push and push, and it can cause umbilical hernias or other internal damage. So, thanks, Bear. She's literally playing with her water. So I keep the enemas on hand. I usually give it to the foal within the first 2 hours of foaling. Another thing that they recommend you do after foaling is give the mare ivermectin. The ivermectin will go into the foal when it gets to drinking at first. So that is the way the baby gets the dewormer. So I usually do the enema within 1 to 2 hours of foaling, the ivermectin within 4 hours, and then I also, just in case, keep Banamine paste on hand for the mare. That is a lot of trauma going on to their bodies, and they can be in a lot of pain afterwards. So I give the mare usually 1 or 2 doses of Banamine after foaling. So 1 after she foals, and then another about 12 hours later. I personally do the paste because even though I can do IV, I'm more comfortable just doing the paste. Now the one thing I also forgot to mention that I keep on hand, especially when things start to get going, is straw. The reason why I use straw versus just regular shavings is when a foal is born, they're getting pushed into the shavings and they're getting their first breaths, and sometimes they can inhale the shavings and it gets into the respiratory system, which isn't good. So when you use straw, it's so much thicker and it won't get stuck into the respiratory system as much as a thin shaving would do. So what I usually do is I have a thin layer of shavings down first, and then I put 1 to 2 bales of straw down. That way, the shavings help absorb the wetness from when the mare's water breaks, but the straw helps keep the baby's airway clean. I don't like putting straw in until I know that mare's about to go because of the fact that it is really hard to clean. So normally she has about 2 to 3 bags of shavings on her stall floor at all times, but right before she foals, I try and make it as minimal as possible and then fill it with the straw, and then as soon as I can, I take the straw out. Some people like to keep straw in for the first 2 to 3 days so that the foal can get has proper respiratory building and that it doesn't get shaving stuck in its nose. So yeah. So I'd love to hear what you think. Do you think Sadie's gonna have a colt or a filly? Her last colt was chestnut, but her color options are chestnut, bay, or black. I personally want a bay filly with a blaze and 2 hind white socks. I would love to hear what you think. Put it in the comments below. If you have any other questions or video ideas, also comment below. I would love to hear them. And in the meantime, like and subscribe so you can stay up to date on Sadie's baby news. And make sure you follow the Blonde Rider on Instagram. I post on there throughout the week of anything going on in my horse life, maybe a dog post or 2. So yeah, in the meantime, happy riding, y'all.